Please read the disclaimer. Jim Cramer, get ready for a bad market open. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We're going to talk about XRP, about the crypto market, about the whole US Greenland situation. We'll look at the current market, the current situation between Coinbase and the White House. We got some updates on that. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button. Let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video. I'm counting on you. Yes, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm counting on you. So we'll get to Coinbase in just a second, but I just wanted to, it was funny, but Jim Cramer talking about how there's anticipation right now that because of the whole situation around the Trump tariffs, or so it's kind of like I wouldn't call it a reciprocal tariff. It's like if you don't do this tariff, right? So the next 48 hours are critical with the EU's emergency meeting scheduled for tomorrow. We are now on step 4 of the tariff playbook. We expected the EU to take an aggressive but open approach. They will be threatened to cancel the EU-US trade deal, and this could be huge, right? While encouraging President Trump to negotiate. This is exactly the position President Trump aims to achieve, right? He slaps down on the table the tariffs, and then he says, okay, now your play, right? And he uses this as a tactic to make them come to the table and eventually negotiate something. US futures will still open on Sunday at 6 p.m., but the US market will not reopen until Tuesday due to the federal market holiday because of Martin Luther King Day. This will lead to step 5 and 6 of the tariff playbook below. Markets open lower and President Trump plays hardball. Ultimately, the road to a trade deal on Greenland situation will be longer than the recent US-China bout, potentially. Why? Because an acquisition of Greenland can't happen overnight, and the EU remains highly opposed to even the idea of such a transaction. However, if history repeats itself, the sequence of events is in the phase of the trade war will remain largely in line with the playbook, right? And this is the Kobesi playbook here. But when we look at this, why this is so important, why we need to take this into consideration, why everybody's talking about this so much, is because we have PTSD here, right, from October 10th. Be ready to capitalize on market swings this week, right? Potentially. The last time trade war broke out was October 10th. President Trump threatened a 100% tariff on China. Just 16 days later, the S&P was added back $3 trillion in market cap. Okay, so you can see we had that big sell-off. Of course, even the S&P dropped there, and then the S&P rallied back. Of course, the crypto market, because of what happens, and just the massive liquidations and everything that came from that, it has taken more time to recover. Right? The stock market didn't have the worst day ever in the history of the stock market, right? It didn't have that. So it was a lot easier for the stock market to recover, whereas crypto is still feeling the pain of October 10th. And, even though if we go to the fear and greed index, we're right now at, mid, right, 49, I don't think that from an interest standpoint, from a standpoint of where the market is, I don't think we're there yet. We're not back. We're not at the same point we were. When was the last time we were in the mid, right? Go technical difficulty time, right? Let's say when we were above 50, right? It happened around the beginning of October, right? But even before that, let's say August, right? August, we were around here, right? XRP was at 3.3, and Bitcoin was around 120,000, right? Even in the beginning of October, it was around 124,000. So think about this. Last time the market was at about 50, around 50 fear, right? So it's around here, like 60, 50, 70, like we had 61 on January 15th. The crypto market, Bitcoin was at 120,000 plus. It went up a little bit and suddenly the market went back to greed. That I call BS on that. I call flag on the play. It's a football playoffs right now, right? I don't think so. And a big indication on where the market is the viewership on YouTube. It's the how much tweets get engagement, right? Now I've seen some like crypto X posters suddenly flip to talking about Claude and vibe coding and things like that, and they're getting lots of engagement from that. So it's very interesting, and I like this tweet. From Alex, he says here, in 2024, during the last peak, everyone he knew was getting into crypto. Literally at the peak, he was in at an event with a group of newbies, telling them the market can go down. This is just how it is. The market can go down. You don't know how bad it can get. They shrugged it off. A year later and minus 90% later, here's what happened. Outside of one guy, every person that he knew who was getting in then and considering going, being in crypto full time is now fully out and intentionally ignoring crypto. I will tell them, dude, it was hot at a peak. Now it's, it's in the gutter. And according to Alex, the prices, according to him, is amazing. And they will be like, no, and say expletive here, and even look down at the fact that he still participates in crypto and intentionally find ways to avoid even considering the market. This is why so few people ever make money. They only become active and highly engaged when the market is already hot. In order to make legendary gains, you have to be locked in when the market is at its lowest, and everyone hates it, right? The momentum moment is now. This is what oversold bottom looks like. When the market is up that 20x and all your friends are giving you crypto advice or sharing picks, you'll come back to this post and laugh. And this is, again, how it is. I told you, when my videos suddenly start getting 100,000, 200,000, that's probably at the peak, right? Right now, they're getting, I don't know, 10,000, some are getting 6,000, 7,000. We're probably at the lowest point. Again, I appreciate you coming. It could be the algorithm. I only have 2 more days on my YouTube potential vacation. Right, it was 3 months there, so it's already 3 months since that happened. Only 2 more days to go, and then we'll see if there's a shift. Because I don't know, some people are claiming that there's some issues because of that. I don't think so. I think it's just the market is what it is, and people are losing interest. And when they lose interest, surprise, surprise, when people are not interested in an asset, it doesn't go up, all right? As always, these are just my opinions. This is just what I am thinking. Of course, this video is for educational purpose, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very important. Also, I want to bring you a story and just, a reminder here. Stolen 282 million in Bitcoin and Litecoin triggered the XMR spike. On January 10th, a victim lost about 282 million in Bitcoin and Litecoin in a hardware wallet social engineering attack. The funds were quickly swapped into Monero via instant exchanges, draining liquidity and spiking XMR. So that happened, but the moral of the story here is that you have to be very careful. Even someone that has accumulated 282 million in crypto got hacked through a social engineering, right? And so it's very, very important. Social engineering, part of that is also fake people and fake imposters. So just remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me anything. These are fake accounts by people in all kinds of places around the world. It's not me. Don't engage with them. If you ever get a DM from them, it's not me, okay? I'm not DMing you. I'm not sending you a friend request. Be very, very careful out there. Don't click on any links from sources that you don't know, okay? Be very, very careful out there. Very, very important. You see, $282 million, right? If someone sends me an email or something like that with a link, or I say, I don't want the link, send me the information. Just write it here in the email. Don't send me to a third party, right? I don't want to click on any links from people that I don't know, right? Don't do it. The story between the White House, Eleanor, and Coinbase developed a little bit, right? We reported last night about Eleanor and her scoop on the White House and how they were considering removing support from the crypto bill entirely if Coinbase does not come back to the table. And Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, says, In general, love your post, but this is not accurate. The White House has been super constructive here. They did ask to see if we can go figure out a deal with the banks, which we are currently working on. Actually, we've been cooking up some good ideas on how we can help the community banks specifically in this bill, since that's what this is about, the community banks, right? More coming soon. So it seems that they're working on something. He did kind of, I don't know, let's call it throwing under the bus, but he did say, hey, this reporting isn't entirely correct. And she says, my reporting was airtight and accurate. You also just cited the central point of my story as correct, that the White House has asked Coinbase to go secure a deal on yield. My reporting is that White House support now appears to be contingent on that outcome. So again, this is another thing that has the crypto markets up in arms a little bit and slowed down the momentum, because we all thought, oh, January 15th, right? It's the next phase in the crypto industry, right, and then boom, we got a pause or a stop sign there because of Coinbase pulling out. Now we don't know what's going to happen, right? And whenever we have uncertainty, that creates a situation where people are less likely to invest in that asset just because there's uncertainty and they don't know what can happen. If this falls, then it's a big a wrench in the crypto community that we don't have the Clarity Act going through. So this could be very, very important for the next 6 months, year for the crypto market. And that's why the market has been so, eyeballsy on it. I don't know if that's a word, if you can say that, but that's the situation. Okay. And so I'll continue to update you on that story and everything that is happening around that, just because it's very, very important to know all these things. Yes, day to day, it might not be swinging the market, although this current Trump situation, of course, could. But this is more midterm to long term, the whole Clarity Act. And short term, again, we'll see. So far, the crypto market has held pretty nicely on the tariff news. All the headlines are, scaring people about the S market, whereas the crypto market so far is held. But the question is going to be, on Tuesday, right, when we open up, will, for example, all the crypto ETFs get sold off? And will that create pressure on Tuesday? But, there's a few days until Tuesday. Right now, it's Sunday Fun Day. So we have a few days, right, Monday, Tuesday. We have 3 days here to a little bit marinate ourselves in the tariff stew. And we'll see, what is going to potentially happen here, right? And it's funny because right now we're getting this bear market warning. As per CryptoQuant, Bitcoin is approaching the 365-day moving average near 101,000, a key level that rejected the 2022 bear market rally. The price is not yet reclaiming this long-term moving average, indicating a bearish market. Now, again, this here is creating the rejection. Yes, and right, yes, and also the market lost a little bit momentum off of the Clarity Act. So yes, technical, right, but also we're in the situation where it's also news based. So it's kind of a combination of the two, and we'll see how the market reacts to this. XRP has lost a little bit of the momentum. Again, the CNBC article that was the peak. Again, if you see XRP on CNBC again, that might be the time to short, right? This is just our experience, right? So this will be very interesting to see how this week plays out. There's not a lot of things happening until Thursday when we have the GDP and national jobless claims. But of course, Tuesday is going to be the one that we're going to want to watch out for. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more XRP and crypto updates. Drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond. And the easiest thing to support the channel is to just smash that like button. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.